Hello, and welcome back to our podcast, Just Fade Us. We are just your average people who love competition and gambling. That's it. So tell us at your own risk or avoid the pain of a bad beat and just fade us all together. Either way, we hope you enjoy this week's episode. So a little off script this week, and we're going to try something new. But I guess we will start with, you said you had a good week this week, made some money, gave it back. I've also been inching my way closer and closer, giving stuff back, getting it back. I'm up still on the.
Oh yeah, I'm up.
You're up on the season,
I'm up.
so I guess we can call that.
Oh, on the season? Oh, no.
Well, on the
On
week,
the 24 hours. No, not the
you're
season.
on the day. I'm up slightly on what is that in the green or in the black? What do they call it?
Black. Yeah.
You're in the red if you're losing. You're in the black.
Oh, red all day.
So if on the season you're in the red, but on the week you're.
It's week by week with me.
It's week by week. I made some money, put it back in my account, and spent it. So I'm up on that, and then I have some money. So I guess I'm in the black for the season. So not that much, but enough. But I guess that leads us to our change in strategy, where we're noticing we're making the right calls, we're making the right sides, the right reads, but one or two things are off a little, so it's costing us those good bets. Especially the ones where you're taking, is it worth taking something that is minus 250 and more? Is that worth your money putting it in something? How we always like to juice, well, if I just take this team at minus 500, can I just use this large chunk of money to make a little bit of money? Is that the safe bet? So I know you were mentioning something happening like that with soccer on the overs. And I know that's happened to us a lot, putting them in our parlays, like basketball games and stuff like that, and just busting the whole thing. We're getting like all the dogs, or we're getting all the right reads, and then these like juiced bets are costing us. And then we go on to Twitter.
Yep.
And we see these ridiculous touchdowns or completions or things that are just rare. Even when we watch the games, we're like, who the hell are these people scoring? So I guess the way to try to attack Vegas is to go for these ridiculous lines, since we're going to miss anyways because of something that makes sense. Why not miss for something that doesn't make sense? To our audience,
right?
A little bit.
Just to prove we're not insane.
Not insane. Before, though, we get into some of those kind of crazy things, are there games that you're looking forward to, fights that you're looking forward to this upcoming weekend, or things that you're like banking on?
Yes, absolutely. All right, I'll do a quick run through because I have a couple. All right. We'll start with the NFL. Is that cool?
That's cool.
All right. I actually went against what I originally thought, and I actually like the Eagles to cover today at 4. I know it's pissing me off because I have Washington in a teaser, but I like Philly to cover, and that's because I started looking at, first of all, the line moved another half up.
I saw that. I went to 4 after I made the 3.5, but it's worth the risk. It is what it is.
And also, as I was looking at a lot of the player props, I use the player props and line movements to look at to see what Vegas knows better than we do. A lot of the props are in Philly's favor, and Washington is not being favored really in really any position. And surprisingly, which I didn't know, is Philly actually has a pretty good defense.
They do, against
and so I think I hate giving like an analyst view, but this is my one analyst view. If they can contain Jaden, is it Jaden Daniels?
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels. If they can contain him to where he doesn't be like their leading rusher or whatever, I think the Eagles win this game touchdown, if not more. I hope honestly, I'm really hoping they just cover that 3.5 because I teased them to about 10.5. But something is telling me, based on what I just shared, that I think they do cover it, but it's fading me, so I hope I'm wrong.
Well, I do agree I do agree with that analysis. My only reason that I took the 3.5 is because Philly blows games late. And they've had that struggle this whole time. And so I think there is a possibility that there's some late game coverage. And That's what I for like a backdoor. I feel more comfortable with a backdoor cover than I do, at least in a teaser, because I tease Washington too. So even if they cover the 3.5, I don't know. I got them up to 9. You got them up to 10. I think even if they win, it's probably by a touchdown.
I know. I'm praying.
Right.
I'm not placing that bet, but I thought that was interesting. But aside, because that's happening tonight, so it's irrelevant in terms of the show. But listen to this interesting thing that I found. Dang, I wish I wrote it down to get the exact percentage. That would have been even more guru of me. But so I went back to week one and I went all the way up till not week one, week five, I think bye started. Week five to week 10, which was last week. Every single team, and I could be off by 2 or 3 teams, no more than 3 teams, but every single team that was on a bye and came back the next week covered the spread. So you have last week, you have Cleveland, Green Bay, Vegas, and Seattle on a bye last week. So I literally threw all 4 of them in a teaser.
Yeah. You know what's the funny thing? I avoided every single one of those games in the you know how I make a long teaser?
Yeah.
I avoided those are the only 4 games that I avoided because I didn't know what to do with them. But what I'll do is I always make a day of Sunday teaser as well,
Mhm.
knowing that I'll go ahead and tease those 4 in the
Yeah.
rest of the
It's
day.
I did it just to test out what I found. Now, usually I'm notorious for
Being on the
I'm gonna keep doing
bandwagon.
this all show because I don't want people to think that I like just figure this stuff out and I'm because clearly I'm in the red for the season. So clearly I don't know anything.
That's just
When I
a gamble.
feel like, ooh, I found something out, like we say all the time. Remember with the baseball game, you're like 6 batters too late. Like
That really happened.
so it's one of those things where it's like, ooh, I feel like I figured out something. Now let me do it. And it's that one time that it doesn't happen.
Well,
Or
I don't think Green Bay loses. I think they win. So if you're teasing them, they're the favorite, right?
they are.
So
Yep.
that brings them to plus. So I think that's a good call. Vegas is like over a touchdown.
Yep.
And while I think, who are they playing again? They're playing
Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins. While I think Miami wins that game, so I did tease Miami down, but I teased them to 1.5. I would consider teasing them on the other side as well. I think that is a good game where you can catch both sides. I actually think you don't even need to tease Vegas. I think you could just take Vegas at the 7.5 and they cover. Cleveland is a coin flip anyways, so you might as well gain the extra point while teasing with them.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's like
Seattle's 6.5 for. I think that's another game where you could tease both sides. I think Niners win a close one. And all these because Seattle's a big spread too, and we know how the big spreads have been working of more than 6. So you get them for more than a touchdown. I think that's a good shot against them as well. So I don't think it's stupid. I'll join you on those ones.
yeah, I'm like I said, I'm testing it out. I liked what I teased it to because I teased them up. So it's just I basically got all 4 of those teams other than Pick'em one, which was Cleveland. I got all of them at 2 touchdowns or slightly over 2 touchdowns, I believe. Obviously, other than the Packers because they're
And Miami's coming off of a short week too. So
yeah, short week and Miami's just not. I don't know. They're not good, but it could go either way. I wouldn't be shocked if they
they
blow them
might
out.
not play either.
But
So
yeah,
I think Vegas covers.
I put a decent chunk on that teaser, so if it hits, that'll be a nice. It'll be real
You
nice.
just tease those 4, nothing else.
Do you know who I am? Do you think I only teased
That's
those
how
4
it's
teams?
like, okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, you tease with other stuff. Okay,
No, there's more to that.
okay.
So I'll speed this up a little bit so you can get to your part. So something I was gonna say with NFL that I feel like applies to more so the NBA is, and then this is a little tricky, so put a big asterisk next to this because I know it's that little play-in cup thingy or whatever. But basically, something that I try to pay attention to is when 2 teams play each other. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be back to back, but if they play each other within the same month or within a few games, what you'll see is one of two ways. It'll either be one team covers and then the next game they don't cover, or vice versa, right? Like one game they cover or the favorite loses straight out, and then the next one the favorite will come back and cover. But the only thing is that the only difference from this year and last year in the NBA was it was usually, let's take two teams like the Suns and the Celtics, right? Like two good teams, either one could win. It wouldn't be shocking, right? If the Celtics won, let's just say November 1st, no matter what the spread was, say they covered, the next time they played within the same month, or let's just say 2, 3 games later, Phoenix would cover, but Boston still wins.
I think
They
that
don't,
actually did realistically. I think that happened with the Celtics and the Bucks. I think the first time they played the Bucks, they blew them out, and then the second time,
yeah,
the Bucks covered, but the Celtics still won.
correct. So that's what's happening. Last year, it was like it was two teams that were comparable. They were trading. One wins, one loses type of thing. But this year, what I'm seeing is the same team is still winning, but they're still doing the covering, not covering.
I think that happened with the Charlotte as well, whichever team they played back to. I think I noticed that night as well.
Well, I'm saying if you've been, it's been happening
Well, that's good to know. So that's
crazy. But like I said, with this playing cup, it's a little different. So I'm just keeping an eye out for that, but I'm not betting off of that. Um, and then last but not least, I actually really there is a fight card this week, big name John Jones, but really the card is crappy in my opinion. Um, Literally the main card is all like -900 favorite, -1000, so it's silly in my opinion, but I'll still watch it. Um, Mike Tyson though fights
yeah. I
tomorrow.
was going to say he. Yeah, I was going to ask you what you thought about that. I got a free square on him in another in a player prop.
Yeah, if anything, I'm gonna bet Tyson just because it's Tyson.
Tyson, yeah, why
Um,
not?
but I wouldn't be surprised if what's his name does something ridiculous to him. But I will share this and then pass it along to you. Um, so in the UFC, the opening fight are two young ladies from one from Brazil, one from Venezuela. But this woman named, I'm looking at it now, Eduarda Moira. Say that. She's the dog. Right now, it's probably different on FanDuel or whatever
Yeah,
book,
whatever
but
book you're on.
she's a low fave, but it's still plus 120 right now, what I'm seeing. I think by time Saturday, Friday night comes around, it might be closer to even. But the big thing is the woman she's fighting, Veronica Hardy, who's the favorite, her fighting style is just like mixed martial arts, right? It's like I'm not discrediting anything. I'm not expert in this field, but from just watching and paying attention to this stuff, a fighting style of MMA is just like the basic, right? Someone usually does judo, jujitsu, a striker, kickboxing. She's just MMA. The woman she's fighting is a wrestler and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So there's a theory where you always take the Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters who are like comparable in age, size, all that good stuff. And the fact that wrestling jiu-jitsu is they're not the same, but for us rookies, they're similar. But the fact that she's known for both of that and she's a slight dog going against a woman who just does MMA, I'm taking that 10 out of 10
Take it
times.
now.
And
That's what you're saying.
yeah,
So I should take it now.
yeah, like right now. Like open up your phone,
Get out
do
the
what you
call.
do. But
Jump on it. Okay.
yep. But I love that. That's probably my favorite pick of the weekend for the easy dog.
Anything from college? Did you look at it?
I did peek at a little bit of college. I didn't get too much into it because I've been getting cooked. I've been getting cooked in college football.
I've been getting cooked in
Um,
college. It's not even fair.
Yeah, it's I'm not I don't know. I don't have anything right now that's worthy of saying. The only thing that caught my eye was Clemson playing at 12 o'clock. That's the only thing I saw. They're laying 11 and a half against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. And I was like, I'll look into it, but I hate Clemson during day games.
So you would tease Pittsburgh on something. I've only
I would
done teasers in college because, and I'm just missing again one or two. It's just because the rest of it, it's just too much.
no, I've even taken the sweetheart teasers where it's 13, 14 point swings, and I'm still getting and my teaser gets blown out. Like it's insane.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, for
So
college, it weirdly there's only a couple games that stood out to me at first glance. I didn't same thing. I didn't go too much into it. I hate Oregon covering, but I actually like them at the under 2 touchdowns against Wisconsin. One, maybe that's just me being biased against Wisconsin because of Fickle, but I'm hoping they blow them out. I could see them blowing them out. That's
It's
the
interesting.
lowest I think that the spread's been too. I think that's one that they can cover. So I might tease Oregon there and get them for what, under a touchdown. So I definitely think they may beat Wisconsin by a touchdown at least. And then I also liked Navy at home against Tulane. They're +7. So I like that one as well.
And you like that just based off of how Navy's been.
Yeah, Navy, they're comparable teams. I think I give them the edge at home. It's getting late in the season. And again, if you're throwing them in a teaser, that's 2 touchdowns. It's just this is more of gut stuff on college, but maybe that's why we're getting cooked
Yeah.
on. College is just harder to read.
Right?
And then I know people just keep fading BYU, and I just keep taking BYU.
And yeah, they're killing it. They're killing it.
Sorry, Jess, I'm taking
Covering
BYU
wise.
on the under a field goal to Kansas at home. Maybe I'll
Wow.
go with the over in
Yeah.
that game, to be honest, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, those are college. There wasn't too much sticking out there for me. But when it does come to the NFL, I was like writing down these slates, and I'm like, and we'll talk about this too when we decided to switch it up with our money line stuff. But there's actually a lot of dogs that I like this week on the spread. So I really like the Steelers at 3.5 against the Ravens at home. I don't know about the money line, but I do like them on the 3.5.
Pulling it up.
I don't know if it's still 3.5, but when I got it, it was 3.5.
3 now.
3 now. So I like the Steelers at home at 3. Might be something. The money line's +150, I think. The Colts, I know, was a bad read against the Bills, but honestly, it was just because a pick six was thrown to start the game. Because if you think about it and that doesn't happen, then it's right where it needed to be. And there's like, and they're going back to Richardson, as you saw, because I saw in fantasy you dropped Flacco and took Richardson, so you know he's coming back. So I like it in this matchup against the Jets. I'm sorry, why are the Jets getting 4 points on the Colts? That just seems, the Colts actually are not that bad, and the Colts are still in a playoff race where the Jets are not. So there's more in the lines for the Colts. And the Jets' run defense sucks. And Jonathan Taylor is going to run all over them. At a minimum, they're just going to run the ball. So I actually, not only when we talk about our money line, I might try to convince you to take the Colts money line against the Jets at +165.
I don't know, because like the idiot that I am, I like the Jets here on the spread.
No, you're wrong.
I actually really like the Jets here on the spread. And I'll tell you why, just because you got to think, right? The Jets last week got embarrassed as favorites, and usually you don't. It is the Jets.
Embarrassed as favorites again.
They're an anomaly. So yeah, they're getting. And again, they played Arizona, who Arizona is. I think Arizona is a pretty decent team, but the sports book don't, because Arizona is wacky like
Yeah,
some other teams. Like
up and down.
they have a good defense. They have great quarterback, great running back. I don't understand how Arizona is not being competitive right now. You get embarrassed by Arizona, and then you come back as now 4.5-point favorites against, like you said, the Colts. They're not a terrible team. Anthony Richardson is not like he's like a bum. The fact, I don't know, to me that it's 4.5 and hasn't moved.
I think to your point though about Arizona and the books not giving Arizona credit, I think the books all year long and everybody involved in this market has given the Jets way too much credit. That is a lot of points. If this was like the Jets on 1.5, 2, okay. They're giving them over a field goal. They've done nothing worthy of that all season long. That's my only one. Like
That's fair.
Coverage. So me, I can't put my money down. Maybe I don't convince you to put it in our money line one, but I would not for me personally, I'm not putting my money on the Jets. I know you've invested in that. I've been saying all along, I'm so mad at myself that I even let people convince me out of taking the plus money for the Jets under their win total of 10 or whatever it was, 9.5 or something. I'm so mad at myself for being convinced out of that when I just knew this was not going to be good. But everybody was so sold on them. I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna do it. But here we
You
are.
know, I don't know. You might have convinced me because now, as you were talking, I was thinking that's exactly what I did last year with the Bears. And this year I didn't listen to anyone though. I just was like, I think the Jets. I was talking to my friend the other day who's a big Jets fan, and it's like the Jets aren't. They don't have like on paper they're a good team. They have the defense, they have the offense. Rodgers is terrible, but it shouldn't be this bad with all the players around.
They've all just
Paul,
turned into what? Even like I was listening to somebody talk about how like and Sauce Gardner I loved watching him in college. Like from the Bearcats, I didn't. But like it's they're even talking about him at this point being like a third string cornerback. That's how poorly he's even been playing. So nobody on that team is performing right now. And maybe they turn it around. Maybe the Colts is a good spot that they turn it around. I don't know. I just can't put my money on them. Anyways, I guess we'll get back to them. Maybe you feel comfortable, maybe you don't. This one's hard, but I actually do like Falcons on the points as well against Denver, though I hate teams going to Denver because playing in Denver is really hard and Denver looks good. But the Falcons really should have beat the Saints. I know the Saints was a good call last week on the 3.5, but they also missed 3 field goals. So
the problem is Denver's playing great at home.
they are playing great at home.
Yeah,
Um,
I
so,
hope I teach.
so there's that one. And then the flip, I was initially on the Bills, but then Chiefs became the dog at 2.5, and it's just profitable to take Mahomes in that spot. So I got to take the 2.5 or tease it to what would that be? 8.5. And then the Bengals at the +1.5, though it seems like everybody is in love with the Chargers winning that game as well.
Yeah, everyone's on the Chargers. So the Chiefs,
The
the
Chiefs
dog,
are the dog now.
because they're in Buffalo.
Yeah, they opened originally the look line head was that the Bills were +1.5. And then everybody came in on the Bills, specifically the pros, is my understanding, and then pushed the line to now 2.5. So the book's trying to get the money on the other end. So those are where I'm at. I know we talked about, I don't know if you had any dogs, because I know we wanted to talk about picking, like talking through some money lines on these dogs and
Yeah.
seeing which ones we just think putting together, even if it's just two.
Oh, I'm dog wise. It's not heavy, but like I'm all over the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Bengals. I just don't, I know everybody's in on the Chargers. I actually like the Chargers. I think they're doing amazing things with a bunch of people who I feel like they have a whole rookie team outside of Herbert. But
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
just watching the Bengals. I'm watching the Bengals offense, and they're so good offensively.
They're amazing. They're amazing. And I think what's their record? Let's see, 4-6. So are they? They're still.
They're still in a playoff. They need this. And I looked at the rest of their look ahead schedule, and it's actually not terrible.
It's light,
It's
yeah. Other than Pittsburgh,
outside of it, yeah, it's pretty light. So they know that this game is like a must win.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, they have 7 games left, including this Sunday. Yeah, I love Cincinnati there. Teasing Kansas City, like you said. And the only other one, not a dog, but that Pittsburgh game, the unders at 49, I'm taking that every time. I'm never taking a Pitt. I know Pittsburgh's this season has been scoring points, but
And the Ravens offense has to slow down at some point. You have
yeah,
to slow down at some point.
Ravens Steeler game. Tell me when. I'm sure someone could pull it up easy, but tell me when and how many times those games ever went over 30 points. And you're giving 49, I'm taking the under.
I would take the under too.
Yeah. Easy. It'd be like 0-0 at halftime.
I don't know if it'd be 0-0 at halftime.
Crazy.
Maybe
Crazy.
maybe 7-3.
I miss those boring games. I remember seeing Ben Roethlisberger win 6-0 or 3-0. Them things, they're fun. They're boring ass games, but they're fun as fuck.
In the trenches.
Yeah.
So were there any other outside of the Bengals? Were there any other dogs that you'd be willing?
I hope not. Technically, Cleveland, that line moved. I got them as dogs, actually. So
They're still dogs, I think.
I'm seeing a pick 'em right now.
Okay, so let's build something. Cleveland
Yup.
money line,
Yup.
Bengals money line,
Yup.
the Steelers game under,
Yup.
and we want to maybe throw one more, or do we want to just stick with those three?
Let's do three.
Yeah, we get to always.
Let's try to not find that fourth one-legger to screw us.
All right. So
Three sounds.
we're gonna lock that in as a parlay. What does that end up odd wise? You get your phone? Come on,
Yeah, I got you. That is going to be. Wait, so we said Cleveland?
money line, Bengals money line, and Steelers under.
All right. It is turning out to be Bengals money line. Oh, shoot. Where's the Steelers game?
It should be the
Oh, there you go. Under. Oh, yeah. It's 48.5. Yeah. So you'll basically 6.5 times your money. So $10 will win you $75.
okay.
Well, sorry, $64. You get your 10 back
So it's
as well.
plus 640. Three of those.
So that's pretty good. Throw a little 25
Go on that.
or 50 on it.
Probably get a boost somewhere.
Yeah, there's boost on DraftKings.
Move it up a little bit. All right. That was fun.
Yeah, right.
So,
All right.
so we'll lock
We'll check out next week and see how we did.
it. Yep. So we'll lock that in the board. All right.
Perfect.
So I guess now the real fun begins.
Yep.
Let's, instead of our normal player props and Miller times and TDs, we're going to look at what we should come up with a name, some garbage time name for some random stuff, but some touchdown props that are, what do we say, plus 500 or more? Is that,
Yeah, +5. Yep.
I don't know about you. So I had a hard time with this only because I don't really know these receivers and stuff that don't have specific names that I'm used to. So I don't know what they're like, how many times they're being targeted in the games and all of that. So I
They
ended
just have to catch one
I know
pass.
you just got to catch one. So I was actually looking at, and I'll let you go through yours, but a lot of mine were first touchdowns or first half touchdowns.
I got you.
So
Okay.
kind of like it was still random, but
Yeah, with still high odds.
like
Yep.
a high one, but not some outside of actually Mac Hollins. I actually have written down. He's the wide receiver for the Bills, but I targeted specific games that I thought would be a little bit more high scoring as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess what did you look at for your touchdowns?
So for me, this one I can't not cheated, but I tried to put a little bit of sense to it as opposed to you did
What
too, but
I was
yours
just
was
saying, yeah.
yeah, your sense was a little bit more intelligent than mine. Mine was just like what I guess I went off of like names that I'm familiar with and could it happen, but it probably won't. But so you probably have a better chance. Well, it'll make sense when I give you. So the pick I took tonight, honestly, was probably like the safest high odds one, which was the Philadelphia defense. They're at plus 550.
We always
So
forget about the defenses. That's a good one. Yeah.
that was like my cheat code one. And I went back and forth with this one, but I went with in the Browns game just because it's disgusting. I took Derek Carr for a touchdown at 650. All I need them to do is get inside the 2 or the
He'll run
3, right,
He'll
in
run
a busted play, and he's at plus 650. So,
it. Did you already bet it? Did you bet
no,
Philly defense?
no,
Okay.
I don't. I still have it queued up here, but
So we're building something.
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna if yeah, our mine, yours, and we'll put it together. But just to give you a glimpse, with just these two picks together, you'll 45x your money.
Yeah.
So
That's
by the time
probably
we add what you have, we'll be millionaires.
true. So you're doing all right. That's all you did was those two?
Just those two.
Okay. So I actually have a few different games with a few different things. And then
You went crazy.
I'm gonna let you jump in and see where we might want to move around. All right. So the first game that I was looking at was this Colts Jets game. And I'm
Okay.
with the Colts because that's who I think is going to win anyways. So for first touchdown, and I'm thinking about their run, Anthony Richardson is plus 1100 for first touchdown. If he scores in the first half, it's plus 550, just as a pause. So you can think about those players. Then going into the Bills game, the Bills Chiefs game, Matt Collins for a first touchdown is plus 1800, but if he scores in the first half, it's plus 750.
Wow.
This one I actually really like. In the Bengals Chargers game, Quentin Johnson for the Chargers, first touchdown is plus 1300, first half touchdown would be plus 650. T. Higgins to score in the first half is plus 700.
Mm. Oof.
And then in the Steelers game, the first touchdown of the game, George Pickens is plus 900. I get nervous with first touchdowns because it takes you out of the whole game if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I liked the option of the first half, especially in higher scoring games, because for me there'd be more opportunity because you got two quarters to go, and it's still like you just said, Derek Carr plus 650. That's anytime through the whole game, which in a quarterback situation that makes more sense. But for somebody like Quentin Johnson or T. Higgins or Anthony Richardson, I do think that they do have a valid shot of scoring in the first half.
I really like the Anthony Richardson one just for the simple fact that he's coming back on the field again after being benched. Well, hurt, benched, coming back,
And
all that
part of his
stuff.
benching was because he tapped out for not playing hard. So you don't think he's going to try to hustle?
So I really love the first touchdown score, but the safer bet is the touchdown in the first half. But I am gonna throw him in the first touchdown score. No, you know what? I'm gonna throw him in there for the first half, like you said. I'll play it a little bit safe since we're parlaying ridiculous picks.
You can always put a separate one with him for plus 1100 and a different one.
Yeah, that's true.
Option.
I'll do first down, touchdown, score
Yeah, maybe
thing.
two
I'm fine.
together or something.
Yeah.
So, and then did you want to add one more? What did you think about Quentin Johnson or T. Higgins in the first half?
I'll leave that up to you. I don't other than last week, I haven't really heard much about Quentin Johnson, and then T. Higgins has just been injured.
Yeah, and T. Higgins, the interesting thing with T. Higgins is, let me pull up on ESPN. The interesting thing with T. Higgins is that he's actually on he's not on a holdout for his contract per se. Like he's said that he's going to play. He wants his money, of course, but I actually don't think he's willing to risk playing for a team that he doesn't have a security in. So I think he's
Yeah.
basically, I don't think it's that he's like fully injured. I just think I'm not necessarily 100%. So I'm going to sit. So I don't know how much of that is. Is he really injured? Is he just playing it safe? Let me see how many Quentin Johnson. I think he scored quite a few touchdowns this year. He's got 5 touchdowns on the year so far. And
Damn, I have not been paying attention to them.
5 touchdowns in what, 10 games?
Yeah, I have not been paying attention to them. Yeah, I guess you go for that one. I don't know. I would say more Johnson than Higgins just because I don't like grabbing guys off of
Coming
injury.
off of injury.
Johnson in the
Johnson.
first half.
Yep, Quentin Johnson then. At first half. So at plus 650.
All right. Oh, okay. Here we go. Anytime first half score, I'm gonna do Anthony. Oh, Anthony Richardson's only plus 400 for that, so that means
Yeah.
he's gonna score.
In my note, what book? I was looking at 365. What are you in DraftKings?
Him in FanDuel. I'll put him in anyway. Plus 400 is still good. Why not switch? I'm not gonna switch
Yeah,
it
I
up.
wouldn't switch it. I would keep it because it depends on the book. Because, like I said, I just pulled that tonight and it was plus 500 in the book that I was looking at. So,
And then I don't think they're not even giving touchdown scores yet for the Chargers game.
let me see if I get. So, what do we say? Colts, player props, anytime first half touchdown. Anthony Richard. Yeah, I got him for 550 here. And then
Oh, that's good news then. Yeah, I'd take that 550.
the Chargers game. And again, for all of our people that may be watching, may not be watching, these are experiments that we're trying to see because the foolishness that is happening in the Twitter game is upsetting. And we need to figure something out here. And two intelligent people should be able to come up with something. If you put 10 down on the three of them, it's $3,656
Beautiful.
for the three of them. So this is our new strategy that we're attacking.
Yep, and it's only gonna get uglier. I almost took some weird guy today on. I couldn't even tell you his name on Washington, but watch him be the first touchdown.
So this is our new fade us. Because now we have legit. So we ended up with Cleveland Bengals money line, Steelers under, getting it for 640. We ended up with Quentin and Anthony Richardson first half touchdowns with Derek Carr, adding a shitload.
Yep.
And then you really liked the Cleveland, Green Bay, Vegas, Seattle tease. I'm joining you on that. I'm going to put the Bengals and KC and Steelers with that. I don't know if there's any big ones that you put with that you see, but and a couple of things to mention. If you're looking for basketball props, Horford on 1.5 threes. Again, just like LeBron on 1.5 threes. The books are not adjusting and they're keeping it set and they're hitting it every single night. Both of them have only missed one night in all these games.
That's crazy because it's like a 40-year-old
The
man.
one that they're adjusting to, and I've noticed this, Drew Holiday, because I just follow the Celtics a little bit more, so it's easier for me to follow along who's actually hitting them and who's not. Drew Holiday, if he's over 1.5, he's hitting the majority of the time. But his line is moving. Unlike the other ones, he got adjusted. If he hits his 2, he gets adjusted to 2.5 the next night. Once he gets to 2.5, take the under.
Who's that take the under on 2.5?
Drew Holiday. If he's under 2.5, if he's 2.5, take the under. If he's 1.5, I've been taking the over.
Okay.
So and then Sabonis assists at 6.5, or has been a straight thing too, and he's hitting like 75% of the time.
Interesting.
So just putting that out there if you're looking for some player props. So yeah,
there we go.
All right, that actually feels like a real fade us because now we're being.
Please do. Oh my God. Well, like I said, we're up, so maybe they should ride with us.
We are.
AJ Brown.
In the black.
In the black.
All right. Yep, that's that week. Fade us.
Let's make this money.